Hi, welcome back. This is Mitch Argon with Calneva Realty. I'm going to take you through the Reno Tahoe real estate market for February 2021. Let's get started. Okay, let's get started with pricing. As you can see in January, just last month, over January of the prior year, 2020, we saw healthy price appreciation in all of our markets. You'll notice that Dayton was up 17% and set a new record median high at 386,000. On the far right column, it gives you a better indication as to what we're seeing with regards to price appreciation. You can see we are comfortably into double digits, with the exception of Dayton, which is coming in at 9%. Okay, taking a little broader view on the market, we just talked about median price. You can see that homes sold is really a mixed bag. Some sub-markets were up, some sub-markets are down. I do think that if we continue to see the lack of inventory, that our number of homes sold this year could possibly be restricted and revert downward just based on lack of supply. So we're seeing some mixture in there. You will see the Tahoe market at 129%. That 16 number represents a post-pandemic unit sold, whereas the January 2020 at 7 was more typical of what we had historically seen in the Tahoe market. So big change there as a percentage because that market is changing quite a bit. Month supply of inventory, you can see that all the markets in the valleys are quite low. Tahoe at 1.4 looks quite a bit higher, of course, but that's down from 4.9 a year ago, so a rather dramatic change. The one I want to point out just a little bit further is the Sparks market. You can see that Sparks is at 0.1, that's 10% of 1 month of inventory. So to put that into perspective, that is 10% of 30 days is 3 days. So at the time we put this report together this month, the Sparks market had 3 days of inventory, which what that means is that if there were no new listings coming on the market in Sparks, within 3 days, the listing inventory would be absorbed. So rather dramatic. Okay, I want to talk for a minute about this chart here. We get asked quite a bit by our clients, are we in a bubble? Are we seeing prices that are not supportable? And this chart is in the Greater Reno Tahoe Real Estate Report. We update it quarterly. It's got a little bit longer view than some of the others. And I like to share it from time to time just for some context. You can see back in 2005 when we reached the peak from the last bubble that we had, we were 82%. The median price in Reno and Sparks for stick built was 82% above the red line, which is a flat line that runs pretty much the way the markets were running from 1995 to about 2002. Of course, that market that we got overheated, that market came down quite a bit in early 2012, 43% below that red line. And of course, you can see the trend line coming back up. You can see that on the far right, there's been some rather steep appreciation, which we've talked about for the last few months, but we're still at 26% above that red line. So that is just one reference point. 2005, we were 82% above that red line. Now the red line is quite a bit higher, but it's been 15 and a half years since we passed that point. So this just gives some perspective on the current market, where the markets are overheated by about 26% as it relates to the historical most recent bubble. Our regional economy is very different from when it was in 2005. Lending practices were very different now than they were in 2005. So when you factor in those types of things, I think we're probably less likely to see a true bubble of the magnitude that we certainly saw in 2005 today compared to what we saw back then. We'll let history be the judge of that as we go forward. Okay, doing a quick recap and a quick look at unemployment numbers. As I mentioned, Dayton, record median price. The markets heavily favor sellers today. It is extremely competitive for buyers. We're seeing multiple offers, typically 5 or more offers on every listing as quickly as it comes on the market. We are seeing a lot of buyers waiving appraisals, making up appraisal shortfalls. So it's very, very competitive for buyers out there in the current market. On the unemployment front, things are trending in the right direction. If you look down below, you'll see that from November of 2020 to December of 2020, unemployment continues to drop in the state. We went from 10.1% in November to 9% in December, the most recent number that was available. Regionally, you can see Carson City is down to 5.7% in December, and Reno Sparks is down to 5% in December. I think the national average is like 5.8% right now. So we're at or below national average in the Northern Nevada regions that are being tracked. Of course, we're still quite a bit ahead of where we were in December of 2019, which you can see on the far right. So trending in the right direction. I think with what's happening with vaccination, and hopefully that accelerates, I would expect to see the employment numbers pick up on a steady basis as we go forward. Okay, that wraps it up for this month's edition of the Greater Reno Tahoe Real Estate Report. Again, Mitch Argon, Calneva Realty, I appreciate your taking the time to watch this. I hope it's been useful for you. Down below in this video that you're watching, there is a link to the full Greater Reno Tahoe Real Estate Report where all this information is coming from. I'm just summarizing it down for you here on a video. Feel free to look at the document. If you have any questions about anything related to real estate, please reach out to me or anybody here in our company. We've got agents in Reno and our Reno office and in our Minden office who are standing by and ready to help out. Have a great day.